girls, my name is Valerie. Welcome to my channel, Storytime Val. So today we're going to be reading Mrs. Hens' Big Surprise. Are you ready? I know I am. Mrs. Hen lived in a pretty house in the middle of a meadow. She was sad though because she didn't have a baby chick to love. One day, when Mrs. Hen was gardening, she tripped over a rock. "What is this ugly rock doing with my vegetables?" she cried. She took a closer look. Mrs. Hen dug and dug and dug and dug. The big rock wasn't a big rock at all. It was an egg. Mrs. Hen jumped for joy and shouted, "I'm going to have a chick, my very own chick!" Happily and very carefully, Mrs. Hen wheeled the beautiful egg up the hill. Then she set the egg down in her living room, and like the good hen she was, she sat on it. She sat on that egg and knitted, imagining the wonderful life she was going to have with her little chick. That's them on a sled. And this right here is her feeding her little chick. And they're at my favorite place right here, the beach. I love the beach. A few days later, Mrs. Cow came to visit. Mrs. Hen told Mrs. Cow her incredible story. "Soon I'm going to be the mother of a handsome chick," she said proudly. Mrs. Cow told the whole story to Mrs. Pig. "I think our friend Mrs. Hen has some bizarre ideas," Mrs. Cow confided. "She's sitting on a very strange-looking egg she found in her vegetable garden, and she thinks it's going to hatch into a chick." Mrs. Pig told Mrs. Goose, who told Mrs. Sheep, who told Mrs. Turkey, who told Mrs. Porcupine. And Mrs. Hen received a lot more visitors. But her neighbors made fun of her and whispered that she had a strange-looking egg that was never going to hatch. So Mrs. Hen sat along with her egg and waited, and waited, and waited some more. But the seasons passed and still the egg did not hatch. Mrs. Hen wanted to help the egg hatch. She wobbled the egg, she adjusted the egg, but nothing happened. "Are you going to hatch or not?" she cried. Sadly, Mrs. Hen decided to roll the egg back down to the garden. But suddenly, the egg rolled away from Mrs. Hen. Faster and faster it rolled until it landed with a crack at the bottom of the hill. Crack! Crack! What a surprise! Two big feet emerged from the broken egg shell, and the egg started to walk. Mrs. Hen hurried down the hill as fast as she could go. Crack! A huge head appeared at the top of the egg. "My beloved chick," cried Mrs. Hen. "You finally came!" For sure it was a funny-looking chick. It didn't have feathers or a beak. It wasn't yellow, but Mrs. Hen didn't care. She hugged her chick tight and welcomed him into the world. The neighbors were amazed. It was a happy day for Mrs. Hen. She and her chick began the life Mrs. Hen had always dreamed of. And that's the end of this book. Thank you for sitting in and listening to me talking about my book of the day, Mrs. Hen's Big Surprise. I hope I see you next time. So don't forget to click on the bell so that you can get notified of every time I wrote another book. And subscribe. Good night. Thank you.